Our afternoon journey on 2 now takes us to the beautiful West Donegal Gaeltacht and the vibrant parish of Idir, in a repeat of last night's Summer Pride.
Well, Idir is situated in West Donegal between the parish of Clagheneely and the parish of the Rosses. It's a rural area, a population of approximately 5,000 to 6,000 people. It's a young population. They've graduated into the 20th century at a fast pace. It's as modern as you'll get in any other part of Ireland. The young people are employed on the estate here. They've great spending power because they earn quite a lot of money on the estate. Their houses are modern and they have a fairly modern outlook. Since the advent of the industrial estate in Idir, in my youth, it was a poor enough area. There was very, very little employment. But since the estate was set up about 25 years ago, it generated quite a lot of income to families in the area. And I suppose it brought quite a few problems as well, because the families were big 20, 30 years ago. They're more modern now. The average family would probably be about 3 or 4. And with the modernisation, it has brought its difficulties as well. At the moment, you could say there's quite a few discos in the area. There's a pub culture here, as you would have in other parts of the country as well. And with that, you have the difficulties that you would have in the cities.
The people themselves are fairly proud people, always have been. Consequently, that is the reason we've had so much success in the past. Obviously, in the current day, it's difficult to motivate people to the levels they had in days gone by because there's other distractions. The social life has changed. But having said that, they still back the club. They're still fiercely independent, proud. In the past, it was the whole social life of the parish to follow the club. They travelled like to Letterkenny, which is a round trip of about 70 miles, and they cycled that just to see a match. That was the passion and the commitment there was then to follow the club. You had guys coming from training who had maybe spent the whole day in temperatures like we have at the moment, in the bog all day working, would come home, maybe not get a meal in the evening, go straight to training. That was how disciplined they were. And that's the type of commitment they had in the past. I don't like comparing eras or sets of footballers. It's difficult to do that. I wasn't living then, I don't know. But I'd imagine the commitment was a big part of it. The hard work, the strength, physical strength of the people then helped.
Fellas that played football that time they were labouring lads. They worked the farms and cut turf. They were fishermen. They were all, from all modes of life. Just for example, Goal Island, which you see out here behind us, they were able to send 15 players out to the pitch here in Marigallon and play the local lads in a full-blooded match of an evening's training, you know. And they had, some great footballers came from the islands.
Follow the ball behind Patrick. Follow the ball behind Patrick. In the middle, man. Good. Okay, Shan. Go. 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 John, wait for the coach. Go. Go. Go.
What do you think, the cousins?
There was no football, Gaelic football, in the parish until 1932. They started the first Gaelic club here, and it only took them 3 years until they won their first county championship in 1935. And then the championships came, 38, 41, 44, 45. It came sort of, not annually, but fairly frequently, up until 61. That was our last championship won in senior football. And we have been in the lean years since.
The whole shift in football would have changed from areas like this to areas like the southwest of the county, where the majority of the county panel come from at present. To relate back to 92 success, it's ironic that there was no Gweedore men on the team, like, and that would have been unheard of 20, 30 years ago. And they always said you would need a Gweedore man to have a learning success. And obviously it wasn't borne out. But I think that there's a crop coming through again, and it will turn around. These things fluctuate an awful lot. Clubs will have highs, counties will have highs and lows, and you go through these periods. To go through 35 years is too long.
It's gone over 33 years now since we won a championship, and probably listened to them talking about the Hughie Buggs and the Hughie Tims and the Neely Gallaghers. It is putting the pressure on us, right? Like, it's gone 33 years, no championship, and it's up to us now, like, to take one into the parish. But as I said, like, with immigration and all, like, we're struggling, like, you know.
I wouldn't imagine that it would have the same impact today as it did have. Of course, at that time, there was very little else happening in the area. There was, I suppose, there was a lot of immigration, as I said earlier on, and the hobbies people had were few and far between in those years, whereas now most households would have a car or two cars that travel out to the area. So Gaelic football wouldn't have the same probably backing today as they did have that time. And of course, success breeds success, and Gweedore haven't won a county championship since 1961, even though they were in two county finals in 77 and 78. But you have to win matches and win championships to have the following from the area. And at the moment, I don't think the GAA has the same following as they had in the 40s, the 50s and the 60s.
Right, stop. Back is alright. Back is kick. Right, here. One here. Right here. Right, sure. Hit, go, hit, yeah, quick, hit, shot, cross, hit, yeah. Right, hit it, start it, quit it. Put it away, Sonia Arish. Really small. Hey, Damon. Right, I have seen what fellow. Come on, John. No way this wasn't there. What's on? Shouldn't I die? Right, I have seen what fellow. And my. Best of my she's got fellow. Right. Ian. 2, 3, okay. Right, shouldn't I? Right, glue this to us. Come on. Well, let's make it. Jerry Kirkle. All right, Jeremy Shermy. I'm the goal. What that's one session. One session. All right, Maria. Here, go. Take it away, cast it. Right, Sean. Push out, Yes, Maurice, Sugar, Maurice. When you list, Ian, when you list. No. Just stay down. Go now.
You see the field outside there now, it's walled and fenced, and you have this clubhouse and all the rest of it. Well, way back in those days, it was just open, the same as the rest of the strand there. All that distinguished